The moment Lu Yun's words faded, the thunder and flames blanketing the plaza dispersed, revealing Dongfang Bai once more. Yet the dignified composure he once held was gone. His body was scorched pitch black, like a charred stump smoldering after heavenly lightning. Flecks of crimson flame still danced across his form, while upon his chest hovered a flickering orb of green radiance. Slender green threads spread outward like veins, delivering vitality to what should have been a dead body, slowly knitting life back into his ruined frame. Before this recovery could advance further, Han Li descended like a shadow from above and swept his arm across the air. Dongfang Bai's burned head dropped instantly, crushed beneath Han Li's foot into fine blackened ash. At the same time, an azure bamboo cloud swarm sword pierced straight through his chest, golden lightning erupting to annihilate the green life core without resistance. Yet Han Li showed neither relief nor triumph. His brows knitted tightly as he scanned the surroundings. Nearby, a single frail blade of grass swayed gently. Without warning, green light erupted from it, and in the blink of an eye, it transformed into another Dongfang Bai. "So this is how it is," Han Li murmured with a faint smile. "Enough games, fellow Taoist Han," Dongfang Bai said coldly. Rubbing his palms together, countless specks of azure light bloomed throughout his spirit domain, releasing terrifying waves of wood law power. Han Li's pupils shrank as he instinctively retreated. In the same instant, thick vines erupted everywhere, tearing giant trees from the ground and reducing the ancestral hall to rubble. The lakebed vanished beneath a lush forest in moments. The vines engulfed the four devilish projections, severing their link to Han Li, while special golden-patterned vines pinned Weeping Soul in place, rooting her firmly. Though Han Li had already retreated thousands of feet, vines still latched onto his feet, draining his strength. He glanced at Weeping Soul and saw she was unharmed for now, easing his mind slightly. "I've seen many creation-tier spirit domains," Lu Yun said calmly, "but none so refined. No one in the Golden Origin Immortal region truly dares treat Palace Master Dongfang as anything less than great encompassment. It makes no difference whether you hand it over or not," Dongfang Bai said as he approached. "I know," Han Li replied, only to find his immortal spiritual power instantly siphoned away by the vines. Even his star power was absorbed, albeit more slowly. "Everything within my spirit domain belongs to me," Dongfang Bai sneered. "Your power will nourish it, and your nascent soul will serve me forever." Seeing the cord at Han Li's neck, Dongfang Bai reached forward, only for Han Li to snort coldly. "Do not touch what is mine." He unleashed the heavenly baleful purgatory arts, transforming into a three-headed, six-armed devil deity. Dongfang Bai retreated in alarm, commanding all vines to swarm him. Yet Han Li tore through them effortlessly. With a furious sweep of his sleeves, Dongfang Bai summoned 18 colossal wooden giants, each wielding a massive spear that twisted space itself. Han Li shattered them in moments, then plunged downward. Dongfang Bai had already encased himself in golden-patterned vines, forming a towering wooden giant. A vine whip bound Han Li's waist, draining his bloodline power as a spear struck his chest, detonating with earth-shaking force. When the dust cleared, Han Li stood unmoved. The spear had not pierced him at all. "Impossible," Dongfang Bai cried. One of Han Li's heads sneered. His body, reinforced by true spirit bloodlines and demonic arts, far surpassed ordinary great encompassment cultivators. Grabbing the vine whip, Han Li dragged Dongfang Bai close and unleashed a storm of punches. The spirit domain trembled violently as the vines shattered. Dragged forth and seized, Dongfang Bai faced Han Li's thunderous interrogation over Azure Fox City's destruction. Before he could finish his reply, Han Li crushed his body to pulp. Yet no nascent soul emerged. Another Dongfang Bai rose from a nearby vine as the shattered corpse was devoured by the forest. "You've won this round," he said darkly. "We will meet again." "You won't escape," Han Li said coldly, as a radiant golden spirit domain erupted within the Azure One. Alarm flashed across Dongfang Bai's face. Without the slightest hesitation, he withdrew his Azure spirit domain and seized Tao Ji and Lu Yun, soaring skyward in a single fluid motion. Deprived of the domain's suppression, the lake water thundered back into the hollowed vortex, sealing it in an instant. Radiant azure light enveloped the three, fending off most of the time law power emanating from Han Li's golden spirit domain as Dongfang Bai fled at full speed. Han Li's roar split the air. Channeling the reversal true axis, he vanished and reappeared above them in the blink of an eye. Resolve hardened in Dongfang Bai's gaze. He drove his palms into Taoji and Luyun's backs, hurling one toward Han Li and the other down toward Weeping Soul below. Only then did the two realize, to their horror, that their bodies were utterly immobilized, unable even to cry out. Han Li struck out at the charging Taoji, but at that very moment, Taoji's lower abdomen swelled grotesquely. A tiny seedling burst forth from his navel, and before Han Li could close the distance, Taoji's body ballooned and detonated. His nascent soul exploded within his Dantian, unleashing a force so violent that even Han Li was blasted backward, his outstretched hand mangled by the shock. Yet Han Li had no time to tend his wounds. Luyun was still plummeting toward Weeping Soul. He invoked the reversal true axis once more, igniting his lightning bird bloodline, and plunged into the lake to snatch her up. A thunderous blast erupted behind him before he could escape. The explosion annihilated every underwater abode in the lake bed. Waves towering over 10,000 feet surged skyward, crashing toward calm Great Mountain. Moments later, Han Li and Weeping Soul burst from the lake and hovered above the roiling waters. That Dongfang Bai is truly despicable, master. Weeping Soul spat through clenched teeth. He sacrificed his own companions just to escape. A man like him presiding over an immortal region shows how rotten the heavenly court has become, Han Li replied coldly. He may flee today, but his sins will not vanish. Retribution will find him. What do we do now, master? She asked. You rest. I'll plan our next move, Han Li said, opening the flower branch domain and sending her inside. Then he became a streak of light and vanished into the distance. Far to the west, amid the Golden Origin mountain range, stood a vast cluster of palaces stretching beyond sight, some nestled in mountain passes, some perched atop peaks, others floating in midair. Rainbow bridges linked them all, forming an immortal paradise, the Golden Origin Immortal Palace. A green streak tore through the sky and resolved into Dongfang Bai. His expression was storm dark as palace personnel bowed silently in his wake, not daring to draw his ire. He soon reached the palace depths and entered a hall housing a golden communication array. Producing a purple badge, he placed it upon the array, which flared with violet radiance. A projection soon appeared. A green-haired woman, youthful as a girl of 16 or 17, pale of complexion yet bearing eyes of unquestionable authority. Dongfang Bai, why use your 9 origin badge? She asked coolly. If the immortal prison learns of this, trouble will follow for us both. Forgive me, immortal Lord Miaofa, Dongfang Bai replied respectfully. I've obtained information regarding creation crystals and dared not delay. Her eyes sharpened. Creation crystals, speak. Terrifying pressure surged through the array, whipping Dongfang Bai's robes. He hastily recounted the matter of Han Li and the heaven-controlling vial, embellishing freely. In his tale, Tao Ji and Tao Yu had discovered Han Li first and concealed it, arousing his suspicion and prompting his investigation. With both already dead, no one could refute him. Her face lit with excitement. Then those crystals truly may be creation crystals. The heaven-controlling vial has resurfaced at last. Coldness followed swiftly. If you knew, why didn't you report this sooner? Dongfang Bai dropped to his knees. I was blinded by greed, hoping to capture Han Li myself and present him for reward. He proved too strong, leaving me no choice but to seek your aid. Panic showed on his face, yet his eyes remained calm, admitting partial truth was safer than a lie exposed later. He spoke of Han Li's defiance of the heavenly court, stoking her fury. Knowing she needed him while Han Li remained in the Golden Origin Immortal region, Dongfang Bai was confident of leniency. Where is he now? She asked at last. Relief washed over him. Searches have found nothing yet, but all teleportation arrays are sealed. He must still be near the Golden Origin mountain range. You've done well, yet also erred gravely, Immortal Lord Miaofa said. For now, merit and fault cancel out. Capture Han Li and secure the heaven-controlling vial, and I'll overlook your mistakes and petition a reward. Let him escape, and you know your fate. I'll do all I can, Dongfang Bai said carefully, but my palace alone may lack the strength. I'll send the land siblings of the vast golden immortal palace, she replied. Continue the search, but don't frighten him into hiding. Ecstasy flickered across Dongfang Bai's face. The land siblings were famed. late high zenith cultivators capable of fusing their cultivation to reach the great encompassment stage. They had once battled a great encompassment cultivator of the reincarnation palace for 3 days without defeat. With them, Han Li would face the equivalent of 2 such experts at once. Dongfang Bai felt reassured. After further instructions, the communication ended. Dongfang Bai exhaled deeply and retrieved the badge. Within a pink palace of the heavenly court, suffused with soft light and delicate fragrance, immortal Lord Miaofa reclined upon an ornate bed. Beside it rested a massive yellow toad, its lumpy hide and 6 eyes unsettling. Though idle, it radiated an aura scarcely weaker than her own. "Congratulations, mistress," the toad croaked with a grin. "Secure the heaven-controlling vial, and the deputy temple master seat will be yours." "I care little for titles," she replied. "All I desire is guidance to sever my second corpse soul." "Power reigns supreme," the toad agreed. After a pause, she said, "Shi-chan, relay my orders to the vast golden immortal palace, and prepare to go to the golden origin immortal region. Shi-chan, the land siblings alone will suffice. No matter how fearsome that Han Li may be, he is still only a high zenith cultivator. There is no need for you to intervene," immortal Lord Miaofa said coolly. Shi-chan let out a disdainful scoff, yet immortal Lord Miaofa's gaze was sharp and unyielding. "Han Li has already made notable progress in the laws of time. He is not to be underestimated. I will not entrust this matter solely to the land siblings. You are to remain concealed at all times, lurking within the shadows. Only strike when you are certain the blow will be fatal." Shi-chan's expression did not change, but a flicker of displeasure passed through her 6 eyes. To be sent against a mere high zenith cultivator was insult enough. To be ordered to skulk in hiding and strike like an assassin wounded her pride even more. "This matter concerns the grand design. If it fails, the blame will fall upon you," immortal Lord Miaofa said coldly. "I understand," Shi-chan replied. In the blink of an eye, her form twisted into that of a hideous, yellow-skinned woman before sinking silently into the earth, vanishing without a trace. Within the golden immortal stage, Dongfang Bai emerged from the communication palace, his spirits noticeably lifted. With the vast golden immortal palace soon involved, Han Li's capture was all but guaranteed. Once that happened, Han Li would be nothing more than clay in his hands. Images of cruel torment flashed through Dongfang Bai's mind, and a sadistic smile tugged at his lips. After a brief pause, he clapped his hands twice. A streak of light flew in from afar, resolving into a young man with sharp, penetrating eyes. "Palace Master, what are your orders?" "He Dao and Lu Yun have fallen on this journey. From this day onward, you will command Dark Sword," Dongfang Bai said calmly. "Mobilize every Dark Sword spy and contact all agents of our immortal palace throughout the immortal region. I want Han Li's whereabouts, no matter the cost." Joy flashed across the young man's eyes as he bowed deeply in acknowledgement. At that moment, a dull rumble echoed from afar, and the ground shook violently. "What is happening?" Dongfang Bai asked, frowning. "I'll investigate," the young man said. But before he could depart, a blood-soaked golden-robed guard descended in a streak of light. "Palace Master Dongfang! Someone has stormed the immortal palace!" the guard cried in terror. Dongfang Bai's eyes blazed with fury. "Who dares defy the golden origin immortal palace?" Just as he was about to rush out, he released his spiritual sense toward the palace entrance. His expression changed instantly. The once grand entrance of the immortal palace lay in ruins, shattered beyond recognition. Over 100 immortal palace cultivators hovered in the air, arranged in a crescent formation behind 5 black-robed elderly men. The 5 looked nearly identical, quintuplets without a doubt. The surrounding cultivators ranged from late true immortal to late golden immortal, while the 5 elders all stood at the high zenith stage. Countless immortal treasures and devastating techniques streaked through the air, yet they all targeted a single figure. An azure-robed young man stood calmly amidst the storm. Dozens of golden flying swords revolved around him, forming a radiant wall of sword light that shattered every incoming attack with ease. With a casual sweep of his sleeve, another dozen golden swords shot forward, thunder roaring as they carved white spatial rifts through the air. The 5 high zenith elders paled and swiftly shifted into a cross formation, each producing a black flag bearing a sinister black dragon. The flag swelled, releasing vast black mist that surged forth like a devouring cloud, corroding space itself. Other cultivators hastily retreated, but Hanli remained unmoved. Golden lightning erupted from his swords. As they plunged into the black cloud, it churned violently before disintegrating into scattered mist. The swords burst through unimpeded, streaking straight toward the five elders. In a flash, the elders shrank to 3-foot figures and darted aside at extreme speed, narrowly avoiding the blades. The swords did not pursue them, instead tearing into the cultivators behind. Agonized screams filled the air. All true immortals were slain instantly, and nearly a third of the golden immortals fell in moments. The rest fled in panic, their formation collapsing. The five elders returned to their original size, faces twisted with rage. These golden immortals were the backbone of the palace, and they had been slaughtered in an instant. "Who are you? The heavenly court will not forgive this," one elder roared. Hanli ignored him, flicking his sleeve again. The golden swords hunted down fleeing cultivators, cutting down several more in a blink. The elders' fury mounted as they glanced toward the palace interior, as if awaiting aid, yet none came. Just as they prepared to attack again, streaks of radiant green light descended, transforming into enormous green serpents. The serpents coiled around the golden swords with astonishing speed. Green mist poured forth, binding the blades. Though the mist was repeatedly destroyed, it continued endlessly, gradually draining the sword's power and forming dense cocoons around them. Hanli formed a seal. The swords burst free and returned to his side. At that moment, Dongfang Bai descended from the heavens. The green serpent shrank into rings and hovered around him. The surviving cultivators rejoiced, gathering behind him and hurling curses at Hanli. Dongfang Bai ignored them, fixing his gaze on Hanli. "You are indeed formidable, Hanli, but you have gone too far." "You have spared me the trouble of seeking you out," Hanli replied coldly. "You slaughtered all 57,300 members of the Azure Fox tribe without just cause. Today, you will pay for that crime." Shock rippled through the Immortal Palace cultivators. Such mass killing was a grave taboo under the Heavenly Court. "They sheltered a fugitive on the Immortal Slaying List and attacked my palace's people," Dongfang Bai retorted. Hanli snorted. "Your excuses mean nothing. Today, you die." With that, all the azure bamboo cloud-swarm swords shot forth in unison toward Dongfang Bai. Dongfang Bai formed a seal in response, and the green rings transformed once more into giant pythons, unleashing endless tendrils of green mist to meet the oncoming blades. "All of you, retreat!" Dongfang Bai shouted. The five black-robed elders reacted instantly, leading the Immortal Palace cultivators to withdraw in an orderly rush. Hanli spared them not a glance. With a single thought, his azure bamboo cloud-swarm swords erupted, countless strands of golden sword chi pouring forth like a heavenly deluge. The firmament trembled as if struck by thunder. Before the green pythons could even struggle, their massive bodies were shredded into fragments beneath the merciless sword rain. Dongfang Bai's pupils shrank. Letting out a furious roar, he hastily formed a seal. The mangled remains of the pythons suddenly swelled, then detonated with violent force. Shockwaves tore through the air, scattering the golden sword chi in all directions. Seizing the opening, Dongfang Bai spun around and fled, wrapped in a howling gale of emerald wind as he plunged deeper into the Immortal Palace. Hanli frowned in surprise and immediately activated his reversal true axis. His figure vanished, only to reappear before Dongfang Bai an instant later, his speed bordering on instantaneous teleportation. Before Dongfang Bai could react, golden ripples surged forth from the mantra-treasured axis within Hanli, sweeping over him in a blink and freezing him in place like an insect trapped in amber. Killing intent flashed in Hanli's eyes. He extended a finger, and a streak of golden light shot out, blasting clean through Dongfang Bai's lower abdomen. Yet a layer of white radiance burst forth at once, and Dongfang Bai's body transformed into a white puppet riddled with talismans and strange patterns, its surface resembling polished beast bone. A substitution puppet. Hanli's expression darkened. He recalled reading of such an object in Taoist Shai scriptures, an extraordinary creation of the heavenly court, capable of manifesting an avatar identical in form and aura once infused with immortal power and law force. Even Taoist Shi had failed to acquire one. To encounter it here was wholly unexpected. At that moment, green motes of light filled the air, rapidly forming a wood spirit domain around Han Li. Disembodied vines sprouted everywhere, coiling around him as they voraciously devoured his immortal spiritual power. Simultaneously, an immense golden mountain materialized overhead without warning, its surface etched with massive runes as it crashed downward with unstoppable might. Dongfang Bai, the five elders, and the golden immortals of the palace all sat cross-legged atop the mountain, pouring their power into it. With a world-shaking boom, the mountain slammed into the ground. Tremors rippled outward for tens of thousands of kilometers as the golden origin immortal palace and surrounding peaks sank 3 feet in unison. A satisfied smile crossed Dongfang Bai's face. He alone knew the terror of this Shumi golden mountain, refined over countless years from golden origin stones. Though he could not wield it alone, with the palace arrays and collective power, its might was absolute. Had he possessed such strength earlier, Hanli would surely have fallen. Relief and exhilaration spread among the palace cultivators. To strike down such a formidable foe alongside their palace master was an honor few could claim. Then Dongfang Bai's smile froze. Gasps of shock rang out as all eyes turned downward. The golden mountain began to tremble, slowly lifting as if grasped from below. Beneath it stood Han Li, once more in his 3-headed, 6-armed devilish deity form. Using only 2 arms, he raised the mountain as casually as one might lift a stone. Impossible! Dongfang Bai cried. At that instant, the Eastern Vicissitudes divine tree appeared before Han Li, radiating brilliant golden light. The vines and plants of the wood spirit domain disintegrated upon contact, transforming into pure energy that surged into the divine tree and flowed straight back into Han Li, instantly restoring his depleted power. The green domain rapidly collapsed. This cannot be! My wood god spirit domain cannot be devoured! Dongfang Bai screamed in horror. Han Li answered with action. His remaining 4 fists slammed upward, smashing into the mountain's underside. A deafening explosion echoed as the golden mountain was hurled away, plowing through nearly 20 peaks before finally coming to rest. Most cultivators were flung off, while those who remained stared in stupefied silence. Cold sweat drenched Dongfang Bai as he hastily withdrew his domain and fled deeper into the immortal palace in a streak of green light. Run where you will! Han Li roared, giving chase. Suddenly, a vast black cloud swept in from the side, blocking his path. Within it stood the 5 high zenith elders, waving their black flags frantically as the cloud expanded. 8 enormous black dragon claws burst forth, rending the air with an aura fierce enough to tear the heavens. Though they fought together, dread filled their hearts. Han Li's power was overwhelming, yet as elders of the golden origin immortal palace, retreat would brand them traitors to the heavenly court. Their only hope was to delay him. Out of my way, Han Li said coldly. With a sweep of his sleeve, all 72 azure bamboo cloud swarm swords shot forth, crackling with terrifying lightning law power. The dragon claws were sliced apart effortlessly, and gashes appeared on the black flags themselves. The elders retreated in haste, but the swords were faster still, overtaking the black cloud in an instant. Roaring, the elders summoned their defensive treasures, only for the black cloud to vanish under golden lightning as the treasures shattered on contact. Despair seized them. Just as they attempted to flee, a sharp sword intent descended, freezing their immortal power and plunging them into hopeless terror. Most golden immortals had already fled with Dongfang Bai. The remaining subordinates hesitated, faces pale, before panic took hold. One turned and ran, then another, until they scattered in all directions like rats abandoning a sinking ship. 5 heavenly yin disciples, Han Li said coldly, his gaze sharp as frost. State your names. The 5 elderly men exchanged uneasy glances. The one on the far left forced a servile smile and bowed slightly. I am Yin Tianhu, fellow Taoist Han. Please show mercy. We know nothing of your grievances with Palace Master Dongfang. On each of their hands gleamed a black jade storage ring, carved respectively with tiger, deer, bear, ape, and eagle, the speaker bearing the tiger sigil. I am Yin Tianlu, the second elder added hastily, his posture already bent in submission. I am Yin Tianxiang, the third said, his tone restrained but tense. I am Yin Tianyuan, the fourth snorted, eyes arrogant and cold. If you plan to kill me, then stop wasting breath and do it. Silence, Tianyuan! Yin Tianhu barked anxiously. At that instant, the last elder suddenly shrank to half his height and shot away like a fleeing shadow, slipping free of the flying sword at his throat. Yet the golden blade pursued with superior speed, overtaking him in a blink and cleaving through his body. Tianying! Spare him, fellow Taoist Han! Their cries were too late. A flash of silver announced Weeping Soul's arrival. She reached out, crimson light bursting forth to seize Yin Tianying's nascent soul from his remains, drawing in as well the eagle-marked storage ring. The remaining four twitched with the urge to flee, but Tianying's fate froze their feet. All cultivators bear blood on their hands, Han Li said icily. But I loathe those who slaughter the weak without cause. I demanded your name so I could pronounce your crimes before your deaths. Fear rippled through the four. Still, none dared move. Yin Tianying, Han Li continued, sacrificed over 100 mortal cities to refine an immortal treasure. Countless lives perished. Such a man deserves death 1,000 times. The elders were shaken. This sin had been Tianying's deepest secret. Yin Tianhu, Han Li said, turning his gaze, you cultivated in the vast cloud mountains. To seize a yin-rich site, you annihilated over 2,000 cultivators of the Golden Peak sect. Is that not so? There must be some mistake, Yin Tianhu stammered, face drained of color. Yin Tianlu, Han Li pressed, to refine your evil treasure, you ordered the capture and sacrifice of countless pregnant women. Is that false? Despair twisted Yin Tianlu's features. His body trembled. Yin Qianxiong, Han Li went on, voice merciless. You practice a dual cultivation art that feeds on women. During your years in the Immortal Palace, you abducted hundreds of female disciples from across the Golden Origin Immortal region. Do not pretend innocence. Yin Qianxiong's face turned ashen. And Yin Tianyuan, Han Li said at last, you kill not for desire, but as Dongfang Bai's hound. Tribes and sects have fallen by your hand on his command. Tianyuan laughed harshly. You've dug deep. Yes, I've wiped out more than enough. If that's my crime, then kill me. As Han Li prepared to strike, Yin Tianyuan's skin flushed crimson. He threw back his head and cackled like a mad ape, his laughter carrying a strange law power that stabbed Han Li's eardrums with pain. Seizing the moment, Yin Tianhu, Yin Tianlu, and Yin Tianxiong sprang backward, slipping free of the swords at their throats. Yin Tianyuan, however, charged straight at Han Li, his body swelling grotesquely. Run, he roared. I'll hold him. Tianyuan, Yin Tianxiong cried, turning back, only to be dragged away by Yin Tianhu. He's used the Red Lotus destruction arts, Yin Tianhu shouted. He's beyond saving. Don't waste his life. A dull boom echoed as a sphere of crimson light detonated outward. Han Li stood unmoved, his true extreme film shimmering effortlessly to block the blast. Horrified, the three survivors fled in separate directions. Black flames engulfed Yin Tianhu as he fled like a massive fireball. Yin Tianlu swallowed an azure pill. An immense azure deer phantom formed and carried him away in a streak of light. Yin Tianxiang vanished underground, cloaked in rippling black radiance. Han Li struck. His left fist lashed out as his right formed a seal, and a blurred sword projection shot from his brow and vanished. Spatial ripples flared. A golden fist the size of a house appeared behind Yin Tianhu and smashed down, extinguishing the black flames and reducing him to fragments. A golden sword flashed before Yin Tianlu, cleaving him apart before he could react. Deep below, a translucent sword plunged into Yin Tianxiang's head. A single shrill howl rose and was cut short. Weeping Soul reached out, drawing three nascent souls into her grasp. Along with Tianying's, four struggling souls writhed above her hands, utterly trapped. Search their memories before you consume them, Han Li said calmly. His purpose here had never been limited to slaughter. Within the Golden Origin Immortal Palace lay an inter-region teleportation array, his path onward. Now exposed, he could not remain. I won't devour such filthy souls, Weeping Soul snorted. After the search, I'll refine them into soul tools and torment them for 10,000 years. She began her incantation, soul search light blooming. Golden lightning surged from Han Li, enveloping her protectively, and he set off in pursuit of Dongfang Bai. The 5 heavenly yin disciples had fallen in moments. Dongfang Bai was still within his senses. Han Li closed the distance swiftly. When only a few hundred kilometers remained, he swept his sleeve. The 72 azure bamboo cloud swarm swords merged into a single thunderous bolt, streaking forth like heavenly punishment and crashing down upon Dongfang Bai with overwhelming might.